The Memory Erasure. In a dystopian future where the ministry controls memories, a memory technician is faced with the impossible task of erasing his wife's memories to save his own life. The Memory Erasure is a heart-wrenching, emotional science fiction audiobook that explores themes of love, sacrifice, betrayal, and identity. The Memory Erasure. The subject sits in the reclamation chair with their eyes closed, and I don't recognize them yet. That's intentional, of course. The ministry never tells us who we're working on until after the preliminary scan. Can't have technicians refusing assignments based on personal connections. Can't have mercy contaminating the process. I pull up the file on my screen. Subject number 47,291. Convicted of treason against the collective. Sentence: complete memorial dissolution followed by reconditioning. In other words, we'll erase everything that makes them a person, then rebuild them into a compliant citizen who'll never question authority again. Standard post-war justice. I've done this 43 times in the past year. I begin the neural mapping sequence, electrodes humming as they chart the landscape of the subject's mind. It takes 20 minutes to build a complete memory structure, every experience, every relationship, every moment that formed this person's consciousness, rendered in crystalline detail on my screen. The algorithm organizes everything chronologically, color-coded by emotional intensity. Reds for trauma, blues for joy, purples for love. Subject number 47,291's map is overwhelmingly purple. That's unusual. Most criminals we get are hollow war survivors whose trauma outweighs everything else, who turned to violence or dissent because they had nothing left to lose. But this person, they loved deeply. Recently, the purple threads are concentrated in the past 3 years, bright and dense as veins. I'm about to start the erasure protocol when the system finishes rendering the subject's face in the preliminary visual mapping. My hand freezes over the keyboard. No, this is a mistake, a glitch in the system. It can't be. But the rendering sharpens, and I'm staring at a 3-dimensional neural image of my wife's face. Diana, my Diana, sitting in the reclamation chair, sentenced to have everything she has destroyed. I slam the emergency stop button. The electrodes power down with a whine. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely pull up her file again, reading it properly this time. Subject number 47,291. Name: Diana Williams. Crime: theft of government medical supplies. Unauthorized use of restricted pharmaceuticals. Forgery of collective medical documentation. Treason against. Chapter 2. The Memory Erasure. The list goes on. 12 separate charges, each one carrying a minimum sentence of memorial dissolution. It's impossible. Diana isn't a criminal. She's a gardener, for God's sake. She grows vegetables in our tiny apartment's window boxes and knows the name of every flower in the collective's public gardens. She couldn't. I pull up the evidence files with trembling fingers. The theft occurred 6 months ago. Security footage shows someone in a medical uniform accessing a restricted pharmaceutical depot. The figure is masked, but gait analysis confirmed it was Diana. She stole 47 vials of Serenox 9, a powerful cellular regenerative compound so expensive it's reserved exclusively for high-ranking collective officials. The forgery charge relates to false medical documentation she created to cover the theft. The unauthorized use charge. I click on that file, and my world inverts. Serenox 9 administered to Theodore Williams. Me, my own name in Diana's handwriting on a medical form dated 6 months ago. And suddenly I'm remembering. 6 months ago I was dying. A piece of shrapnel from the war, they said, must have lodged near my spine during one of the bombings, microscopic and undetected, slowly poisoning my nervous system. By the time I noticed the symptoms, I had maybe 3 months left. My hands would stop working first, then my legs, then my lungs. The only treatment was Serenox 9. I applied for medical dispensation. The collective denied it. Not enough contributions to society. Not worth the resource allocation. I was a mid-level memory technician. Useful, but not essential. They told me to get my affairs in order. I told Diana that night in our tiny apartment, and she held me while I cried. She told me we'd find a way. That she wouldn't let me die. I thought she meant we'd apply again. Maybe bribe someone. Pull strings. I never imagined she'd steal it. But the timeline matches perfectly. 3 days after my diagnosis, the theft occurred. A week later, I started feeling better. Within a month, I was fully recovered. The doctors called it a dianical. A spontaneous remission. It wasn't a dianical. It was Diana destroying her own life to save mine. I sit in the observation booth for a long time, staring at my wife through the one-way glass. She's awake now, watching the door, waiting. She knows what happens in this room. Everyone knows. Memorial dissolution is the collective's favorite punishment. Why waste resources executing dissidents when you can simply erase them and reuse the body? I should report this. Should recuse myself from the case. Let another technician handle it. That's protocol. But if I do that, Diana will be erased by the end of the day. Some stranger will sit where I'm sitting and methodically destroy every memory she has. Of her childhood. Of her parents, dead in the war. Of the day we met at the community gardens, both of us trying to grow something beautiful in a world of ash. Chapter 3 of the Memory Erasure. Of me. They'll take it all, and she'll wake up empty. A blank slate for the collective to write on. Unless I do it first. The thought crystallizes slowly, horribly. If I'm the one who erases her, I can control the process, can be gentle, can make sure it doesn't hurt, can say goodbye even if she'll never remember it. I page my supervisor. Tell her I'm ready to proceed with subject number 47,291. She approves it without question. I'm one of the best technicians in the facility, with a 100% success rate. She has no reason to doubt me. No reason to know that I'm about to erase my own wife's memory of our life together. I put on the neural interface headset and enter the reclamation room. Diana's eyes widen when she sees me. Theodore? I'm not supposed to talk to subjects, but fuck protocol, fuck all of it. It's me, my voice cracks. What are you doing here? I thought they'd send. Understanding dawns on her face, followed by horror. No, they can't make you do this. Tell them you can't. Tell them. Diana. I kneel beside the chair, taking her hand. Why didn't you tell me about the Serenox? About any of it? She looks away, tears streaming down her face. Because you would have stopped me. You would have said it wasn't worth it, that you'd rather die than let me take the risk. Her voice breaks. But I couldn't lose you. Theo, I couldn't watch you die when I had the power to save you. So you threw away your own life instead. Yes, and I'd do it again. She squeezes my hand fiercely. Every time. In every universe, I'd choose you. The words shatter me. Diana, they're going to erase you. Everything. You won't remember me. Won't remember us, won't remember. I know. Her voice is surprisingly calm. I knew when they arrested me. I made my choice. No, there has to be another way. I can falsify the report, say the erasure failed. They'd verify it. You'd be executed for treason too. Then we run, right now. I'll unhook you from the chair, and we'll get maybe 6 blocks before security kills us both. Theo, be realistic. She reaches up, touching my face with her shackled hand. This is the only way. You do the erasure. You live. That's all I need. How can you ask me to do this? Chapter 4. The Memory Erasure. Because you're the only person I trust to do it right. To make it gentle. Her smile is devastating. And because I need you to know something. When I wake up with no memories, with no idea who I was, I'll still have loved you. That love will have existed, will have mattered, even if I can't remember it. That's not enough. It has to be. We sit in silence for a moment, her hand in mine, both of us crying. Finally, I ask, If you could keep one memory, just one, what would it be? She doesn't hesitate. The garden. The first time you brought me to the rooftop garden you'd been cultivating in secret. You were so nervous, showing me these tomato plants you'd grown from seeds you'd found in the ruins. You told me that everything might be destroyed, but we could still make something grow. Her eyes are distant, lost in the memory. That's when I knew I'd love you forever. I remember that day. Remember how the sunset caught in her hair, how she'd laughed with pure delight at those scraggly tomato plants. It was 3 years ago, the beginning of everything. I wish I could save it for you, I whisper. Just that one memory, keep it safe. You can't, they'll check. They always check. She's right. The ministry audits everyone, scanning reconditioned subjects to ensure the erasure was complete. Any remaining memories are considered evidence of technician incompetence or worse, mercy. Both are capital offenses. I need to start soon, I say, my voice hollow. If I wait too long, they'll get suspicious. Diana nods. Then start. But Theo, talk to me while you do it. I want your voice to be the last thing I hear before I stop being me. I can barely breathe. What should I say? Tell me our story, all of it. So even if I can't keep it, at least I'll hear it one more time. I activate the neural interface and begin the erasure protocol. The process is methodical, surgical. I have to work from the outside in recent memories first, then older ones, systematically dismantling the architecture of her consciousness. But I can control the order, can choose which memories dissolve first. So I start with the pain. I'm erasing the arrest first, I tell her, watching the memory fragment on my screen. Diana in handcuffs, dragged from our apartment while I was at work. You don't need to remember being afraid. Thank you, she whispers. I erase the interrogations next. Hours of them, collective officers trying to get her to name accomplices who didn't exist. Then the trial. A formality, really, since she'd confessed immediately. The trial's gone now too, I say. All that remains is us. Chapter 5. The Memory Erasure. On my screen, Diana's memory map is already shrinking. But the purple threads remain, bright and dense, our life together, still intact. For now, tell me, she says. Start from the beginning, so I do. We met 4 years ago, I begin, my fingers hovering over the controls. In the community gardens. You were trying to grow sunflowers in soil that was basically concrete dust. I told you it wouldn't work. You told me to mind my own business. Diana laughs, soft and sad. Did they grow? Eventually. You're stubborn like that. I erase a memory of an argument we had. Something stupid, about whose turn it was to repair the water filtration unit. You wore that same stubbornness like armor. The war had taken everything from you, your parents, your home, your whole world, but you refused to let it take your hope. I erase her parents' deaths. It's a mercy that memory was nothing but agony. The second time we met, you brought me a tomato, I continue. From someone else's garden which you'd been stealing from. You said if I was going to judge you about the sunflowers, I should at least know you could grow other things. I erase her childhood now, before the war. A small apartment with blue walls, a father who sang, a mother who braided her hair. All of it dissolves under my touch. Diana's breathing is steady, but tears stream down her face. Keep going. I started helping you with the sunflowers. Just to prove you wrong, I told myself. But really, I erased the memory of our first kiss behind the tool shed, sunset painting the sky orange, her lips tasting like strawberries from the black market. Really, I was falling in love with you. The way you found beauty in ruins. The way you never gave up on anything, even when giving up would have been easier. I'm crying openly now, erasing memory after memory. Our wedding, a quiet ceremony in the gardens, no official sanction because we couldn't afford the permit fees. The night we moved into our apartment together, the first meal she cooked for me. You made me believe the world could be more than survival, I say. You made me believe in joy again, in purpose. My voice breaks. I can't continue. In love, Diana finishes for me. That's what we gave each other, Theo. Love that the war couldn't touch. Love that the collective couldn't control. She's right. And now I'm destroying it. Chapter 6. The Memory Erasure. The purple threads on my screen are thinning now. Soon there will be nothing left but the most recent memories, the ones formed in the last few months after she saved my life. The day you stole the Serenox, I say quietly. I was lying in our bed, too weak to stand. You held my hand and promised everything would be okay. And I believed you because you'd never lied to me before. I erased that memory. Watch it dissolve. You smuggled the vials home over 2 weeks. Administered them yourself because you couldn't risk a doctor noticing. You stayed up every night monitoring my vitals, terrified the treatment wouldn't work. Terrified you'd done something unforgivable for nothing. Another memory gone. But it did work. I got better. Started going back to work, and you never told me what you'd done. You just held me and said you were grateful I'd recovered, that you'd been so scared. My voice cracks. And all that time you knew. You knew they'd eventually trace the theft back to you. Knew you were living on borrowed time. But you never said a word. I'm down to the final cluster now. The memories formed in the last week, before her arrest. 3 days before they took you, we went to the rooftop garden together. You asked me to help you plant new seeds for spring. Tomatoes again, you said. I can barely speak. You said you wanted to make sure I'd have something growing, even if you weren't there to see it. I remember, Diana whispers. I remember the way the light caught in your hair, the way you smiled. I remember thinking that I'd trade every day I had left just to keep that smile safe. And now I have to take that from you too. I say, the pain evident in my voice. I know, she answers. I hover over the final deletion command. Once I press it, the last memories will dissolve. Our final days together, her arrest. This conversation, she wake up empty. A blank canvas. They'll feed her false memories, construct a new identity, turn her into someone who's never questioned the collective. She lived, but the person she was, the woman I love, will be gone. Theo, she says, and her voice is calm, almost sleepy now, accepting. It's okay. Do it. I can't. You have to. For both of us. Diana, I love you. I know, I love you too. I'll always love you, even when I can't remember why. She closes her eyes as sleep takes her. It always does at this stage. And I press the button. The final erasure takes 6 hours. I watch every moment of it. Watch the purple threads dissolve one by one. Watch the architecture of her consciousness collapse like a building in slow motion. I watch my wife. This remarkable woman who saved my life, who loved me enough to sacrifice everything, disappear. Chapter 7. The Memory Erasure. When it's finished, the neural map on my screen is almost entirely gray, empty, ready to be reprogrammed. I remove the electrodes with shaking hands. Diana's eyes flutter open. Unfocused, confused. Where am I? She asks, her voice small and frightened. She doesn't recognize me. You're safe, I tell her, because it's all I can say. You're in a reclamation center. You've been reconditioned. Do you understand? She nods slowly. Yes, I think so. Did I do something wrong? You made a mistake. But it's been corrected now. She studies my face, and for a moment, just a moment, I think I see recognition. Some deep, cellular memory that survived the erasure. But then it's gone, and she's looking at me like a stranger. What happens now? She asks. You'll be assigned a new identity, new housing, new work placement. You'll start over. Will I? She hesitates. Will I be happy? The question destroys me, because I know the answer. She be content, maybe, compliant, but happy? The kind of happiness we had, built on love and choice and defiance? Never. I hope so. I lie. They take her away an hour later. Standard protocol reconditioned subjects are moved to integration housing immediately to prevent confusion. I watch through the window as she walks out, escorted by 2 officers, her movements uncertain as a newborn's. She doesn't look back. Why would she? She doesn't know who I am. I go home to our empty apartment. Her things are still here. The ministry hasn't processed the confiscation order yet. Her clothes in the closet. Her books on the shelf. Her garden tools by the window, where tomato plants are just starting to sprout. I sit on the floor and cry until I can't breathe. Then I do what I have to do. I start packing her things away, hiding evidence of our life together. Because if anyone from the ministry realizes I was married to subject number 47,291, they'll question why I didn't recuse myself. They'll audit my work. They'll discover that I knew her. And then I'll be reconditioned too, and no one will remember that we loved each other. So I erase us myself. Not neurologically, I keep those memories, because losing them would make her sacrifice meaningless. But physically, I pack away every trace of her, storing boxes in a hidden compartment in the wall. Except for one thing. I keep the tomato plants, water them every day, watch them grow. 6 weeks later, they produce fruit. Small, imperfect, but undeniably tomatoes. I eat one, and it tastes like life. Chapter 8. The Memory Erasure. 3 months after the erasure, I see her in the market. She's buying vegetables, examining produce with careful attention. She's wearing the gray uniform of a factory worker, her new assignment, probably. Her hair is shorter, styled differently, but it's her. It's Diana. I should walk away, should leave her to her new life. But I can't help myself. I move closer, pretending to shop, just to be near her for a moment. She reaches for the same pepper I'm reaching for, and our hands touch. "Sorry," she says, pulling back with a smile. "No, it's fine." "You take it." She studies me for a moment, and my heart stops. Does she recognize me? Is there some residual memory that, "Have we met before?" she asks. "You look familiar." I should say no. Should protect us both. But instead I hear myself say, "Maybe. Do you like gardens?" "Gardens?" She looks confused. I don't know. I guess. Why? There's a community garden on the north side. They're always looking for volunteers. You might enjoy it. Maybe. She smiles, polite, distant. Thanks for the suggestion. She takes her pepper and moves on, disappearing into the crowd. I stand there holding a tomato, understanding finally settling over me like a shroud. This is my punishment. Not death, not reconditioning. But this, living in a world where the person I love most exists but doesn't know me. Seeing her in passing, watching her live a life that doesn't include me. Knowing that she sacrificed everything to save me, and I repaid her by erasing every moment that made that sacrifice meaningful. Epilogue. I continue my work as a memory technician. Erase 43 more subjects. 86. 112. I become the best technician in the facility, the most thorough, the most efficient. Because every erasure is practice for the one that mattered. Every time I delete someone's memories, I'm perfecting the art of destroying love. Of taking something beautiful and reducing it to nothing. Sometimes I see Diana in the market, at the transit station, walking past my building. She never recognizes me. Chapter 9. The Memory Erasure. After 2 years, I see her at the community gardens. She's volunteering there. Has been for months, apparently. She's good at it. The other gardeners like her. She's growing sunflowers. I watch from a distance as she tends them, her hands gentle in the soil, sunlight catching in her hair, the same way it did 4 years ago when we met. And I understand. Some part of her remembers. Not consciously, not in any way that could be measured or proven. But her soul remembers. Remembers beauty, remembers growth. Remembers that once, in another life, she loved someone enough to destroy herself. The sunflowers bloom in late summer, massive, golden, impossible. She stands among them, smiling at something another gardener said, and she looks happy. Not the complicated, fierce happiness we had. But something simpler, easier, safe, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what she would have wanted, for me to let her have this simple life, free from the weight of loving someone dangerous, free from the choices that destroyed her. But standing in the shadows of the garden, watching the woman I love laugh at a joke I can't hear, I know the truth. She saved me, and I murdered her. Not her body, that still walks and breathes and grows sunflowers, the person she was. The woman who loved me enough to commit treason, who faced reconditioning rather than let me die. That person is gone. I erased her myself. And I have to live with that. Every day. Forever. The tomatoes are still growing. I've kept them alive for 2 years now, propagating new plants from seeds, creating an endless cycle of growth. Because Diana saved me, and the least I can do, the only thing I can do, is keep living. Keep remembering for both of us. Keep carrying the weight of a love story that only one person remembers. She's planting something new now. Lettuce, maybe, or beans. Her hands move with confidence, creating life from dead soil. I turn away and head home. Behind me, in the garden we can never share again, my wife, who doesn't know she ever was, continues growing beautiful things in the ruins. And I continue dying, slowly, from a wound that no Serenux can heal. The wound of being remembered by no one but yourself. The wound of erasing the only person who ever truly saw you. The wound of surviving when you should have died, and knowing that someone you love paid the price for it. I go home, water the tomatoes, eat dinner alone. Tomorrow I'll erase someone else's memories. I'll be gentle, efficient, thorough. I'll be perfect. Because that's all I have left. The terrible perfection of destroying love, over and over again. Just on some days I often wonder, would she ever remember me?